Hello survivors, welcome to another video. In today's video we are back in Soulstone survivors and we are playing the Cryomancer. We've got an oxymoron build for you. So the Cryomancer is literally a fire character, and what we're going to be doing is playing with ice only skills. So we're sitting with skill mastery ice, we're running blizzard, frostbolt, glacial infinity, glacier, as well as ice vortex, and then we've got reroll mastery and skill inclination ice. And because we're playing with just lasting skills with which area as well, we are running divine legacy to try and get those legendary upgrades to affect every single skill. And then we've got ourselves multicast mastery, quality standards, and Lord's Bane, because I didn't actually know what else to put there. But let's see how we do on a full max curse, max danger run, and we'll go from there. The only thing is we probably should have maybe disabled his this thing that you can see around us, his fire shield, which used to be a skill in the game, but it was actually removed and made a passive on the Pyromancer. So it used to be really strong to just grab this as any character, and you used to have free burn and damage on enemies, but yeah, it got changed. So it's very interesting now. And also we've got the bird over there, but we need to try and get rid of this skill over there, this one over here. So let's see what we get. There's blizzard, so we've got ice lasting, area magical. We should see ice lasting, area magical for nearly every single skill that we have, and it's going to be amazing. But just remember, Pyromancer has a really strong ascension. Probably also, just like we saw with the Houndmaster and his dogs, the Pyromancer's one is just as strong as well, and we should see that in due time. I don't actually want any of these, which is very unfortunate. We're not going to be using a lot of burning, so we're actually going to remove that. There's Glacier for disoriented, critical strikes now plus slow, and we want to try and apply as much slow to the enemies as possible, because that's going to help us with the glacial affinity, which is the more stacks of slow on an enemy when it goes off, the more damage we receive. So, I mean, the more damage we can actually do. Area of effect for area spells, that's beautiful, that's exactly what we're looking for. And just like I mentioned, we've got ice, lasting, area, magical, ice, area, magical, ice, lasting, area, magical. It's going to be a wonderful time with all of these skills. And we are going to focus on the damage for ice vortex, and we're probably going to land up taking bloodlust for the increased cooldown reduction or cast frequency on the skills as well. Frostbolt is the only one that isn't ice lasting an area, but we did need another skill to help apply the slow even faster, and with its low cooldown, it is actually really good. It's got decent base damage as well, so we should see some juicy things happening over there. Here's the bloodlust, getting everything we want at a relatively good pace right now, and as soon as we get our final skill, glacial affinity, we will then start looking at getting rid of, or start re-rolling passives to get better ones. Alright, the bosses are up, so we can actually use our ascension to destroy them. And our ascension does go through walls as well, so do remember that. There we go, finally got rid of all of them. Took a little bit longer than I would have hoped, but it will come. Okay, glacial affinity. Where are you? There we go, fantastic. Okay, so now we just need to work on area, on potencies. We don't need skills anymore. We need the multicasting over here. We're going to get multicast first. We already picked up the crits now, may apply slow. And getting ourselves the ice to chaos is actually pretty good as well, so we will take that for now. We've got a damage increase to physical, which we are going to grab. Not really what we were looking for, but I'm going to grab this because it is going to increase the potency of both bloodlust and of glacial affinity, which are both actually lasting area spells as well. So we should see some really good things coming up. Going to obviously multicast this. As you can see, it affects absolutely everything but frostbolt, but we are going to grab that too. I think the only issue we might have with this specific build is not having dazed in the build. However, we do have these phoenixes that you can see running around us, which apply dazed to the enemy. So that's why we specifically used his, I think it was his second weapon, the lightning weapon. Electric weapon, sorry, not lightning. Alright, multicast ice types. It doesn't actually affect glacial affinity, but because it's an ice type, it's showing it there. So we grab that. We don't need the damage, we need that. We're going to grab the HP. We're going to grab the, I don't know if we need merciless, but we will grab it. Area of effect of glacier is very big because we do actually need the glacier to hit everything for disoriented so that we can crit more. So area of effect on everything, cast frequency and multicast, and then we're looking for damage on glacial affinity as well as on some of the other skills. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have not dropped my ascension the entire time. So the way it works on Pyromancer, they actually changed it. So the more often we kill things or defeat things without being hit, the more it's going to stay up for. So as long as you're not being hit, you'll see the bar is actually going up more than it's going down. Okay, get that. Movement speed's going to be good. Potency, we don't need the fire, so I'm actually getting rid of it. We're not going to need that, so we'll get rid of it. Grab some armor. We don't need the powerful strikes. Area of effect. Cast frequency over here will be big. We don't need that. Cast frequency there is also pretty big. Lock there. Oh my goodness, this is a good amount of locking going on over there. Now you will notice as well, because we're running quality standard, we're going to see a whole lot more purple and green and rare upgrades than normally would. Maybe we would have seen some common upgrades here and there, but now we're actually seeing some big upgrades, and that is because of quality standard. Just noticed we have a double of these. Need to get rid of them. Can go and get rid of the purple tower as well. Pretty easy to destroy it. And there we go, everything can absolutely get destroyed. Now obviously there are much better builds out there that mix two different stats or typings. Like you could go swing ice and you'll probably be in a much better spot because the swing skills hit slightly faster. They got lower cooldowns, so if you had to take like heart-wrenching strike and double slash, obviously you're going to get a whole lot of other buffs with it as well, like finesse, which is multicast, as well as bulwark for defenses. So sometimes it is better to mix and match, but because we are doing these overlord thematic pushing, we want to see what Cryomancer can do for us. I do need more critical chance. We need about 100% because we're not going to get those synergetic upgrades that are going to give us the gosh, we don't want that. We can go potency over here. Multicast for our Ice Vortex is good. More of that. Getting the crit. Again, we want to try and hit at least 100%, and then we'll leave crit for that. We don't really necessarily need to get... I mean, obviously we all know there's something called a multi-crit. So we can crit more than once if we got over 100% crit per attack or per spell. But we don't necessarily need that in this case to do damage. So the way to invest it without using synergetics or using form and things like that is not actually necessarily worth it. It's a lot of upgrades to get to 200% without using those things. So that's why I'm saying, get to 100% and then forget about it for now. If you're not using synergy skills and things like that, it uses a lot of upgrades or a lot of levels to get there, and sometimes that's not worth it. But of course, if you get like an epic crit or a rare crit and you can get that 14 or 12% upgrade, it is definitely worth doing. Eight more levels. Let's see, we got potency, we got crit damage, we got potency, We've got area of effect, but I think that can wait for now. I think life is going to be quite important. We do get the cast frequency again and damage, which is nice. Nice cast frequency over here. This might help it. Yeah, that helped that. And that's going to be cast frequency on everything anyway. So that's probably much better to go for. Relentless over single cast frequency is always better, especially since it lowers Bloodlust, and Bloodlust is going to lower the cast frequency of everything else as well. It's a pity you can't pick a color that you want your Ascension to be, otherwise we would have made it blue to match the thematics. Okay, boss spawn should have, you know, been something already. Blizzard makes it quite difficult to see anything and everything, but it also makes it so that we are applying quite a lot of slow. I also believe that there was a bug where skills like Blizzard weren't applying additional slow stacks. So if you had the skills like casting slow on hit and so on and so forth, it wasn't working the way it should be working, but I think that is fixed. Or they still working on it. I don't actually remember. I think it was fixed last patch. Should be fixed. Okay, we're out of the laser, and he should disappear before the fire hits us, and even if it didn't, it ran out of time. And back to you. I didn't see a lot of slow on him, but anyway, there we go. Now we can go for this. We can grab more area, more potency, and we can get up to 640 maximum bonus damage based on how many stacks of slow the enemies around us have. So you do want area of effect on this. We've only got 40% right now, but you can see 110% base damage. That's what we are currently on, and you're going to see that get increased, you know, exponentially as we keep playing. So let's see what it goes up to now. We went up to 750, so we got 600%. We got the full maximum bonus. So pretty insane to get something so quickly. Alright, go for the crit, potency, crit, area. Seems pretty good to me. The only thing we're missing with the Pyromancer right now, the Cryomancer, sorry, is block. Because as you can see, we did get hit by something and that just chunked our faces. Obviously, I think if you play with separate builds, sometimes block and that isn't fully necessary. And you are able to, of course, deal more damage than what they dish out. So like there, that enemy would have been destroyed before he even got summoned. But with this case, because we're playing damage being Ice Vortex and it has a couple of seconds before it actually lands up being used, so Ice Vortex stays there for a little bit and then pops. That's the thing. So it's a 1.6 second duration first. Okay, we're going to grab the multicast. That's good. We actually need... This is not the right thing. Wait, we'll re-roll that. There's multicast for... Actually, we'll grab both. So multicast for that, multicast for that. There's a beautiful area of effect as well with a nice new magnetic. Actually, man, I want that potency as well, but I didn't really want to. We're getting big things here. We actually, I'm going to go for the damage over this. I know I locked this, but the damage over here is actually going to be quite big. So we'll grab the damage on our Ascension. And I think that's going to help us move that a little bit faster. Can't even see the blue crystals right now on the floor. Okay, there's area of effect for that. Damage increase, that's beautiful. We can go for some block, some cast frequency as well. We seem to be in a very good cast frequency occurrence. We're going to banish duration, we don't need it. The cast frequency over here we don't need either, so I'm just going to actually we could reroll. Like, we don't need it, but let's reroll. multicast. I would like both of them actually, but this one gives us nearly 36%. This one's only 24%. So we'll go for this one. Again, we're kind of not doing a lot with this, but Frostbolt is on a 0.2 second cooldown already. So multicast would help that quite a lot, but it's fine. A lot of frost orbs flying all over the place, as you can see. Along with our phoenixes applying dazed to everything. Actually, we nearly on 100% crit as well, which will be really good for us. Try and get that beautiful crit going as well. Oh, there we go. Did that reach 93%? We can go with damage on Ice Vortex. We're going to re-roll. I would like more damage, but the health is going to be important there. And more potency on the Bloodlust as well. Very, very strong. Alright, we just need to stay healthy. And as you can see, things just melt. It's like we are liquid nitrogen or dry ice. We're burning them, but with a cold temperatures. It's a deep burn, a cold burn. Okay, we can go apply more potency, of course. Area of effect even more. Yeah, we'll take that. I think after a certain amount of area of effect, it's going to become kind of null and, not null and void, but it kind of becomes pointless. But at the same time, you do want those juicy overlaps for the skills. So you need to get to a certain amount of area of effect. How much? Actually, I have no idea how much we have to tell you. But we need to get more area of effect so that the skills overlap. Like Ice Vortex, so it's actually additionally, along with multicasting and hitting multiple times, we also have each of those Ice Vortex hitting the same enemies over and over again. So let's see. Ice stacks, we're only sitting on about 1,000 right now per enemy, so we do need to try and get those increased ice per hit. We're going to take the upgrade to the Ascension over there. We grabbed the upgrade, the Wrathful Focus. We're going to go for cast frequency here. Last crit, that puts us at 100%. I say last crit, but if we do find a crit that's actually worth it, we'll grab it. We no longer need cast frequency, so I can actually banish it now. We can use cast frequency on this, but for now it's fine. We're going to actually focus on Touch of Ice because we want to get more ice or slow stacks on the enemy, because that's how Ice Vortex is going to do its damage. For every single stack of slow on the enemy, we're dealing 367 increased damage on top of the base damage of 10k. So like I said last time, we had 1,000 and something stacks on a boss. So you know, times the 367 by 1,000, and that's the damage you can do. Also, your Ascension applies slow stacks for you as well. So we're there on 2,200 stacks of slow right now on the boss. Times it again by 300 and you got a lot of damage. Alright, there's a damage increase and an area. We're going to just do the damage. I don't feel like the lock is necessary. We can actually get a Swift, which is really nice. Potency upgrades. Another legendary damage, which had nothing to do with Divine Legacy. So we are going to take that. That is beautiful. The only issue with Divine Legacy and this specific build is both Bloodlust and Glacial Infinity are not physical skill. I mean, are not magical. So every single one of these skills, the ice skills, are magical. And then you take a look, Glacial Affinity and Bloodlust are both physical. So when we get those magical skills have a 50% increased damage from our Divine Legacy, unfortunately it's not going to affect our other skills. Also, that Bloodlust, then the area of effect or the whatever needs to disappear. Maybe the developers can work on that, because seeing that red explosion is so unnecessary. But it is what it is. It's because of the area of effect and because we have the skill chain. So every time you see one of those popping, that's actually because of skill chain affecting it. Okay, we'll go one more cast frequency. Like I mentioned, if we do get rare lethalities, we'll take them. Nice multicast over there, some more potency. Oh, you see, this is where we get stuck over here. We want both of these. We want the potency and we want the damage. So I'm going to have to lock the potency, and it's a big one. So we're going to grab that. We get to re-roll over here, multicasting that. More re-rolling for block chance. Let's see what else we can get. We can get cast speed, although that's on 0.2 already as well. So no more cast frequency needed for Frostbolt as well. But we just don't have enough banishes to get rid of absolutely everything. And now you can see the beautiful damage taking place in the game. We do need to make sure that every so often we dodge, because there might be something red under our feet that we don't see. Like if we have a Lexi or Lexi, the boss that puts the poison on the floors, we might not see it, and that could be a game changer, especially once we get to like an Overlord 6 or whatever the case may be. Those damaging pools really hurt. Okay, more slow potential, so touch of ice. Relentless, yes, we'll take that. We don't need the area of effect as much. Potencies are beautiful. Damage increases are beautiful. Damage increases, beautiful. Damage increase. I feel like a broken record. Damage increase, damage increase. We'll go for the area of effect as well, because that's going to affect just those 4 skills. And last time we were doing 300, 10k and 300 damage. That's now up to 13 or 14k and 500 damage. So a lot of damage. That's like the most important thing to know. Grabbing Unbreakable here is actually quite important, so we are going to do that. We do get more damage. I don't think we need the skill chain as much anymore. It's literally just to make sure that Bloodlust was always up, which it is up anyway because of its cooldown now. Superseding its duration, so it's up all the time. You can't multicast or stack Bloodlust unless you have multiple of the same spell. So if I was playing Singular Focus and I had 2 Bloodlusts, then they would stack, but you can't multicast or stack a single Bloodlust. So there's no point in getting skill changes for it. It does help in the very beginning though, for things like that. Over here, we don't need the duration. Life can be quite good. Some armor. And you're probably wondering, Broken, why are you going for defenses? The thing is, we are going to get to a point where we are in, a bit of trouble where the game can one-shot us. And doing defenses and things like that is going to make it so that we can't get one-shot. So that's why. Pick up our Ascension, which luckily spawns before any of the bosses spawn, which is lovely to see. And then we can hold down right click to manually focus our spells while we are playing with auto focus. There's a lot of flashing going on over here though, so let's just lower the visuals slightly. Let's go for potency. We can go for armor. Crits over there. Damage, beautiful. Life. More cost. Oh goodness gracious. Okay. Let's just lower the visuals to 40%. It's just to give us less of, because there's so much flashing going on right now with this specific build, so it's a bit of an issue to see things. I'm worried about you guys here, not necessarily me. Alright, another 9 levels. Ooh, damage, potency, life, cast frequency, potency. Essentially it's just going to be potency and things on here. We're sitting at 300% cast frequency as well as 1100 extra damage. Multicast over there is more important. Damage over there 1110 or 80, sorry, 1180. Are we even on that? We got 1317 stacks. Oof, so much damage. That's beautiful. It's a bit unfortunate that those general stats don't affect your buffs. Imagine if this had that damage buff, but only potency really increases those, so it's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Nearly made a bit of a mistake there running towards the bosses, but we still ended up being okay. I think over here Glacial needs a bit of multicast chance just because of how it works and because it gives us disoriented. So we want to go for that to get more of the crit chance over there. I don't think we need, oh, we definitely don't need Incinerate. We can go for Unbreakable there, a bit more movement speed, and we all Gucci. This has been a lot of moving happening in this one for us today. And our ascension is up. By the way, those big balls that you see being spewed out of us are the RC vein projectiles from the Frostbolt. Is it Frostbolt? Yeah, it is Frostbolt. So this is why we turned down the visuals as well, so that we can start seeing all of this floor nonsense that we need to now dodge. Unfortunately, if the game didn't have this floor nonsense, it would be way too easy, because half the time I can guarantee you, I think like 90% of us all lose our runs due to some floor effect or a random shield bash by one of the bosses. Running into the beam of the priestess, the prophetess, sorry. Or something like that, or another. But yeah, these ground effects last for way too long. Okay, life is fine, we don't need the duration. There's both of them I can't take. I have to make a decision over here. Over here, I think getting damage is going to be much better. So it's going to be interesting. So the damage actually works in two ways. It increases the base damage as well as the damage per stacks. So we're on 619 and 169. So if we click that, it goes up to 173 and 634. So you kind of want the damage over anything else just because of the way that it works on the Ice Vortex. So the more damage you can get, the stronger it is going to be, which is kind of, you know, self-explanatory. But in this case, it's like a double, you know, double beneficial upgrade. So I would like to try and get to 1,000 damage per stack, but I think that's a little bit greedy maybe. We need a lot of potency or a lot of damage upgrades for the skill. I mean, it's very doable. It's very possible. It's just about whether or not we get the upgrades. Okay, I'm actually going to grab the Swift over here. We do get the damage upgrade. That's good. We can go now crits apply more slow. We get the damage upgrade. Getting a lot of damage upgrades for Ascension is actually pretty good as well, because it does do a lot of damage. We should see by the end of the run. Stick around and we'll go over the damage numbers. But Ice Vortex definitely going to be doing the most amount of damage. That's a given. I do wonder how much our Ascension does. I wonder if it actually shows you. But that's something we're going to find out in about 3 minutes. A nice beautiful damage upgrade. The potency over there. And another damage upgrade to our Ascension. So sometimes I actually struggle to get these rare upgrades for Ascensions, but in this case we actually seem to be getting it. We're getting them quite often. Okay. Damage increase. 745, the chances of getting 1,000 are still there. We're only 250 away. Now this is where the movement speed comes into play. We don't even need to dodge, we just need to be able to move out of the area of effects. And that's why I say, like, a lot of people don't like Death Knight because he doesn't have a dodge. But the thing is, you don't actually need to have dodge. As you can see, we haven't dodged once, even though we have 4 dodges. As long as we keep moving and we're aware of the space around us, then we can actually not get hit. And it's actually really good to play with the Death Knight, sorry, because of this. So it's very good at training your dodging capabilities, and it does help a whack ton. Obviously this build has a whack ton of area of effect as well, so it does make it a lot easier. Oops, cases like that are where you actually are supposed to dodge, so you don't take lethal damage. But we're at the time now, or nearly at time, so it doesn't actually matter too much. But let's go more damage, more slow for more damage over there, more. Ooh, this is looking good. Damage increase, not a potency there. Where else are damage increases? We'll grab the potency, it's fine. There's a damage increase. More potency, more damage, multicast works fine. That's really good for us. We're sitting at 875. We are so close to it, but so far at the same time. It won't be a base thing, so if we finish the round and then look at how much damage we have, it's not going to be sitting at that number, by the way, because we are using the Glacial Affinity upgrade as well. Well, actually we can once we finish the round, so once we finish the next set of bosses, we'll take a look at what its base stats are without the Glacial Affinity's 1560 base increased bonus over there. So we can take a look at that. Increase that. We're actually running out of rerolls now, so we've definitely been using them, which is good because a lot of the times I actually don't use them. But in this case, I have a goal to work towards in this build. Normally my builds are just like, oh, I get something or another, where this one it's more about it's literally focusing on the Ice Vortex and Glacial Affinity, and everything else is just, you'll get the stats as you're playing regardless. But now we're just looking for that beautiful damage. I've got a goal, and that's to hit a whack ton of damage. But you can see now, so it goes from 244 up to, we're getting nearly double the amount of damage from that. So that's pretty intense. Grab the damage increase over there. Grab the potency, a double potency. Okay, beautiful. And we are just before 20 minutes, so we go through to the next round, ladies and gentlemen. Cheating the time over there, 5 seconds. That's okay. And then because our Frostbolt is shooting like a insane amount of damage all over the place, we actually it's so cool how we can make the arena cold. That is so cool how the whole arena is blue. But now you can see bosses have a lot more life, but because we infinitely stack cold, we will eventually defeat them. But it becomes a who deals more damage first, or whether or not we're actually going to take more damage, or whatever the case may be. Okay, the rerolls there did not help us, unfortunately. We didn't get even more damage. 963. We are so close, ladies and gentlemen. We just need those couple more damage numbers and we'll have hit 1000, which was what the goal was. And then we can, you know, end the run happily. If I don't, but watch, just because, you know, it's Murphy's Law, we're not going to get a single potency upgrade now. We've got no more rerolls, we've got no more of this or that. So the game's going to be like, sorry for you, bud. There's nothing you can do about that. It's just like, you know, the typical nonsense that happens when you're trying to do something specific in games. How did I know this was going to happen to me? There's area of effect. Yep, so far, that's exactly what's happening. Yo, everything is so tanky right now. And let's not forget that we're actually doing a whack ton of damage. Like, I don't think we're not doing damage. Alright, we did lose our first life there. Luckily, our Ascension, even though it doesn't say it, has shattered. So we do lower the enemy's armor. So we will do more damage to them by just focusing our Ascension at them. Okay, that's one of the ways that I said you'll end up losing by not seeing the attack, which is exactly what happened. We did get the damage. 900 and... oh my goodness. Come on. Nope. Just one more damage upgrade. One more potency. We're getting potency, but for the wrong skill. No. Why you do this to me? We're so close, game. So close, yet so far. I need more XP. Oh, even the healing is like non-existent. Reroll. That's multicast, not damage. It's gonna do it to me. I knew it. I knew it, ladies and gentlemen. We're not gonna hit the 1,000 just because of Murphy's Law, you know. It's just so typical. I said it. 2 minutes ago, I said that this was what was going to happen. But at least we made it past 6 without Lulu. Actually, I say that and we don't have any more HP. So I need to actually not get hit there. Alright, we made it past... wait. Okay. It's unfortunate. It would have been really cool, but we didn't manage to do it. But there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a look at the damage like we mentioned. And as you can see, Ice Vortex doing a whack ton of damage. There's the Phoenix Rebirth actually doing a whack ton as well, with Draconic Flame also at the top over there. And funny enough, you can see our Fire Protection. That's when we get hit. There's Burst of Fire, and then Fire Shield is a passive as well. But yeah, all the skills doing decent amounts of damage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.